How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Jays Banter, your weekly voice of reason for the Toronto Blue Jays. It's Thursday, July 18th as we speak. Jays are currently en route to losing the series against the Red Sox, 3 of 4. But before we dive right into that, I'd like to introduce our special guest today, as usual, my co-host Mo. How are you?
How's it going, Rob?
Not bad. And a very special guest today. You can find him on YouTube at TO Sports Talk, doing passionate rants about all things Toronto sports, but this podcast exclusively will just be the Jays. James, how are you?
I'm doing great, guys. How you doing?
Not bad, and we're going to dive right into that, and we're going to talk about the big news from the week, and that's the comments of Bo Bichette. Sportsnet's David Singh asked him if he's ready for the big leagues this week, and Bo Bichette had some interesting response and some honest response. He said, yeah, I've done everything they asked me to. I've performed. I've put up numbers. I've got better offensively, defensively, base running as an athlete, and as a teammate. Bichette then continued by saying, everything they've asked me to do, I've done the past 3 years. So if I'm not ready in their mind, they're telling you that they got to tell me and I got to get better at it. Gentlemen, what do you think of these comments from Bo Bichette? Do you think that it's out of bounds, or do you think that they shouldn't have said it, or what do you think? What were your initial reaction?
Honestly, I like the comments because, I don't know if you guys saw the highlights. Was it yesterday from the Bison's game? Seeing him crush those 2 home runs and that ridiculously good defensive play. The kid's ready to go. They're coming back from the injury. He's hitting something like 330. He's playing fantastic defense. You're hearing that he's continuously progressing in every aspect. The guy's ready. It's just a matter if the Jays have a spot for him right now, obviously with Freddie Galvis and Sogard and guys like that up the middle. So it's kind of the trade deadline is going to be the big key for what they do to Bo Bichette's future, really.
Yeah, I'm personally a fan of those comments. I always like players who are very passionate for the game and players who are ready to go and feel like they're ready to go. And as James said, Bo Bichette is hitting close to 330 with a 325, 382, and 525 slash line with 4 home runs, 11 stolen bases, 12 doubles over his past 29 games in AAA. So he certainly is ready to come up in the major leagues and contribute. And it'd be nice to see a trio of him, and maybe even a trio of him, Biggio, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette in the big leagues. But there's not really a spot for him right now in the big leagues. And it was interesting comments by Charlie Montoya yesterday where he said he'll find a spot with even Freddie Galvis on the team. So personally, I feel like there's not a spot for him right now, but it'll be nice to see him contribute at the big league level. He should be 100% September call-up.
I'd even go one further. He should be up right now. He should be called up as soon as possible, and hopefully he'll be called up within a few weeks. And
yeah. My thought was that he was going to be called up for the Cleveland series when they come back to Rogers Center. That's my opinion on that. And going back to your point about the Charlie Montoya comments, honestly, when he put Eric Sogard in left field, all bets were off, man. I saw that and I'm like, okay, Charlie's gone nuts. So would not surprise me if Bo Bichette comes up and you'll see Freddie Galvis and Eric Sogard in the outfield. It would not surprise me if Charlie decides to do one of those things.
Do you think that that's sort of the holdup right now? Is that Freddie Galvis and Eric Sogard have been playing so well? And we've been talking about this basically every episode. But do you think that could be the reason that they just want to get the most out of them right before the trade deadline, and then that's sort of the holdup, just to clear room?
I think it's a huge factor. Because I think they want to build as much value as they can with Sogard and Galvis before they move them. I don't know. I don't think both of them will get moved. My opinion is that Eric Sogard goes just because his career numbers are
I agree.
a lot lower than what he's doing this year, and you can't expect him to continue that this year. And re-sign him? He won't do that next year, or at least we don't think so. As for Freddie Galvis, he's kind of around his career numbers. So, yeah, you'd get something back, but you won't get, anything crazy. I don't know what the asking prices are for these two guys anyway, so if they're still really low on Eric Sogard, then maybe you don't move him. But I think Bo Bichette should be up here ASAP, though. You can clearly see he's getting a little anxious down there. It's not affecting his play, but he's ready to go.
And it's good that he's backing up his words. Also, you mentioned the 2 home runs. There's no better way to, back up your comments like that than to hit 2 long balls, that's for sure. Mo, any thoughts on it?
Yeah, kind of agree with you guys. I'm just saying, would you see a possibility where Bo Bichette would be in the outfield if they choose to play Freddie Galvis and keep Freddie Galvis, who has a club option at the end of the year. And I also do agree that I feel like Eric Sogard will be the one that traded. But do you feel like there's some play for Bo Bichette possibly in the outfield, or should he be slated as the everyday shortstop for the Blue Jays?
He's got to be playing short. I think, we can talk about Freddie Galvis playing well all he wants. I think at best he's just sort of, possibly an everyday infielder, but I don't think he should be blocking a guy like Bo Bichette, such a high-tallied prospect, number 8, I believe, in the MLB right now. So I think if Bo Bichette's here, he's got to be playing his position, and then Freddie Galvis has got to be the one that moves. He's also really flexible. You mentioned he's got a club option. He's really doesn't cost a lot of money, so it's easy to move around. It's a lot more flexibility with him. So, yeah, but I think Bo Bichette, if he's up here, he's got to be playing shortstop every day.
Because Kevin Biggio and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., they had really easy situations. Because, the story coming into the season, with a healthy Brandon Drury, what's he going to do? Yeah, he was awful for the first little bit. So it made it a really easy decision to bring up Vladdy and just plop him at third base. And the question was Devin Travis going to be healthy? And was he going to go back to what he used to be of hitting 300 constantly? And if that was the case, what do you do with Biggio? Well, obviously he hasn't played all year. So again, a really easy decision. But for shortstop and for Bichette, they're in a really interesting situation. I don't know. I think he's definitely going to be a shortstop. I could see the infield of the future, as we've all kind of projected for years now, that it's going to be Bichette, Biggio, and Guerrero on the infield. But I think, because I don't even know if Bichette's played any outfield at all in the minors. If he has, it's been very, very sparse. And not with Biggio playing, because Biggio's played all over the place. But I think Bichette, when he comes up, though, is a shortstop, and that's just that.
Another possibility, you can probably move Freddie Galvis a second and move Biggio to the outfield and trade Eric Sogard. That could be a route that they could choose to take, because you mentioned Biggio playing in outfield before. Freddie Galvis, he's played second base for many years in the big leagues. He's a primary shortstop. He's played shortstop all year, but he can play second, so I think that's just a thought out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I just see exactly what you guys are seeing about that, Bo Bichette being a shortstop. I don't see him going anywhere else. Like kind of Vladdy. If he thought he played anywhere else, we'd all be scratching our heads. So,
speaking of Vladdy, that's a good reroute to our next point. And Vlad has struggled, and Bo on our Instagram page at Blue Jays Wave, make sure you give us a follow if you aren't already. Posted a poll, or not really a poll. I'm thinking Twitter, but a post about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. struggles. And Mo, you want to take it away? What exactly was the message of that post?
Yeah. So basically, the message of the post is, as a Blue Jays fan, running the account and just on Twitter every day, I'm just seeing after the home run derby, there's a lot of hype about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I believe there was a stat that I saw is celebrity status on the internet shot up significantly, and people talking about him, a lot of national press on him. And then we saw his stats prior to the All-Star game, I believe, and we saw how in the beginning of the season we were expecting him to do so much for the Blue Jays. But as a 20-year-old that he is, we have to take a step back and realize that there's only so much he can do and so much pressure that's applied on him. And the main point of my post was just to reiterate to the fans, just saying to relax on Vladdy, basically, and just to let him play out a full season in the big leagues and let him figure it out on his own. Because I saw a lot of people on Twitter mentioning, a possible demotion to the AAA. Well, that certainly wouldn't do any good for Vladdy, as it would not only boost his confidence, lower his confidence, but just degrade him. And I feel like if he stayed in the major leagues and just figured it out, because we know what Vladdy is going to become. He's going to become a generational talent for the Blue Jays. And right now we see other rookies in the league, like Michael Chavez of the Red Sox, who we watched yesterday. We see Fernando, I believe his name is, Tatis Jr., he's just an amazing talent as well. We see all these amazing young players prosper, and to ourselves we think, why can't our players prosper like this? But we just got to give patience, and after going 0-4 on Wednesday night against the Red Sox, there's a stat that says Vlad Jr. is now 3-for-20 since the All-Star break concluded. So as you can see, he is kind of in a slump right now, but you should expect that with the home run derby and trying to figure out his swing, no?
Well, it's not affecting Pete Alonso. I think we can all agree on that. He's still crushing baseballs. And Vladdy today, at least as of right now, is 0-for-2 with a walk and a strikeout. So the struggles continue for Vladdy. And the point you mentioned about the demotion, I think that's ridiculous. The kid has crushed 350 at every single level. What more is he going to learn there? Clearly, he can crush at those levels. He's just got to learn at the big league level. And you always hear these analysts and everybody say, well, they've done all they can at the minor leagues. They got to learn about the big leagues now. And you see adjustments have to be made. Look at Biggio. I mean, he's been struggling offensively. Yes, he's been taking his walks and his on bases through the roof, but hits-wise, he's been struggling since the All-Star break. He's only hitting .221 with the 0 for 2 right now today. These young guys, we got to be patient. Vladdy's had a tough stretch. Yeah, and he's only hitting, under 240 now. This guy gets hot over a couple weeks. You saw he won the Player of the Week not too long ago. That average is going to skyrocket, and then all those people who are just doubting him are real quiet. So this Jays season's not about wins and losses. It's about watching these kids develop and grow. And he's never struggled before, has Vladdy. So this is the first type of adversity that he's seen. So to see him struggling right now, it's kind of good in a sense to know that he's human and that he will find a way to get out of it at some point. I'd rather it happen now than in an ALCS in the near future, though.
Yeah, I 100% agree. There's nothing more I can add because you guys just basically took the words right out of my mouth. But I do have an interesting point to bring up. And you mentioned about how Vladdy was crushing it back in early May, and he was slugging throughout a month or so, winning the AL Player of the Week. But that one game in Houston where he took that 96-mile-per-hour fastball off the hand, I believe Garrett Cole was pitching, his slugging percentage has gone down, his exit velocity has gone down. Do you think that he might still be feeling some effects from that hit by pitch?
He could be. He really could be. Because I wouldn't say he's an injury-prone player, but each year he's had a significant injury. I think, I think he got hurt in spring training as well. He was out for quite a bit of time. So, and last season he got hurt in Double-A, and honestly, I don't know if it is. I think for Vladdy it might be a little bit. I think it's more mental than anything else, just for the fact of he's never struggled before, and he's seeing this, and he's swinging at bad pitches and stuff like that, and he's probably thinking to himself, "What the heck's going on here?" He's just got to make adjustments, and I don't know. It could be physical. Who the heck knows? But I mean, you've seen little spurts of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. You've seen it. We've all seen that home run off of Zach Britton. I mean, not many people are going to hit that ball that hard out of the ballpark, but he did. So you're seeing the small things. You just got to do more consistently.
Yeah, I don't think he's completely overwhelmed by big league pitching because we're known to see Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just crush these balls, and you said it best. In every single minor league season, he's hit over 350. So I don't think it can be he's overwhelmed with big league pitching. But maybe it is his hand, and hand injuries are not a joke in baseball, certainly not. Anthony Alford certainly suffered one of those hand injuries and hasn't been the same. But as you said, maybe there's a possibility where he's just trying to get back into the rhythm of things and back in. And he's only 20 years old, as I mentioned before, and getting into a rhythm can be hard. So that's why you see him swinging at pitches that are well below the strike zone, and it could be the hand injury, but I'm more leaning towards as he's just never struggled before, as you said, and he's just trying to get back to the rhythm of things.
Yeah, I think that's a really important thing that we just can't stress enough. The guy's 20 years old. I mean, to go up there, a 20-year-old kid, with the whole country expecting you to hit, ball out of the park pretty much every time up, it's hard to deal with all that kind of pressure, and I guess the added hype of him getting called up and being that son of current Hall of Famer, Vladimir Guerrero Sr., it's a lot of pressure to go under. And I think back to Aaron Judge when he first got called up. He really struggled with the Yankees that first year. Mike Trout also really struggled in his first season. And I guess the next year, where all that pressure went down to being a top prospect, and it sort of just, you go out and you do your thing, they really came up with extremely strong second seasons in the big league. So if you're rooting for Vladdy, and we all are, I think that's sort of the trajectory that you're hoping that he can follow through. Am I right by saying that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Now we're going to talk about some more guys that we probably expected a lot more from. That's Aaron Sanchez. James, I'm not sure how you handle it on your videos, but every time Aaron Sanchez comes up as a topic of debate on this podcast, I don't know about you, Mo, but I get a little sad because Aaron Sanchez, guy who we saw a potential Cy Young Award winner, now just having the worst ERA and the worst whip among qualified starters. It's really tough to see. So, and once again, yesterday, not so great outing. ERA went up, and he ended up losing. Obviously, wins and losses don't really matter for pitchers, but